Hi everybody, John Myer here, and welcome to part 6 of this totally unscripted series happening at Jeff Barr's house with Corey, Quinn, and Stephen Barr. And when I say it's unscripted, I've recapped everything where we were just talking, and the topics range from anywhere from Trackboss to Legos to AWS to Post to AWS naming conventions to purchasing a yacht. In this series, we're talking about Jeff as a Trackboss, AWS DeepRacer live streaming, how much it takes out of you to be a host and how much effort that you have to put into it. Always be on your toes. Is Jeff a superhuman writer? Is Jeff AI? Maybe in Series 7, we're going to be talking about ChatGPT. Yes, I gave it away a little bit, but we'll get there. And how did you pick the color for your office, Jeff? Was it a Lego? Plus, how many patents does Jeff have? All this information is coming up in this episode alone, so let's get started. So, Stephen, one of the things that is interesting to me about, Jeff does everything. He's public, an evangelist on it, and it seems that, you're doing a lot of the same things.
I go write 3,400 blog posts.
I only have 3,397 to go.
Oh, good. You got time.
Well, you have plenty of time. In fact, last night we were over at your house. Thank you so much. Excellent dinner, by the way. First time having pho. And then we did our recording. His setup is getting awesome, more awesome than mine, actually. And some of the things, he's got a nice monitor on to the side that's hooked to the A10 Mini for you can see all the things. You have 2 teleprompters, don't you?
No, I have 1 teleprompter, and then I've got the other one. I've got a Raspberry Pi, but sometimes it's like a Mac laptop, so I can green screen stuff.
Okay. And he does have a fireplace in it. We were going to try to have the traditional fireside chat, but we didn't.
That is easier with a fireplace.
We were brainstorming coming over. We were like, oh my god, we could legitimately do a fireside chat at your house.
I should have had that set up, but that was my fault. Sorry.
We went down to the beach.
Yeah.
We went and took that was actually more important. That was nice to see some of the aspects of the Seattle life. So. But
I saw some really cool conference rooms. Like you had a better night than I did by a lot.
I'll tell you what. I've done. This is the 4th recording here, and I've only been here in a day and a half. And it's just nice to just come in, sit down, and click record, and wherever the conversation goes. Yeah. I definitely have a good time. I haven't been to Seattle in over 2.5 years. So.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, the last time I was here, I did DeepRacer.
That's right. I remember we were on the top floor of Oscar. You had the whole track set up. Yep. That wasn't when that wasn't when you had your children that were putting the cars back on the track.
Well, that was half. That was in my house. Yeah. I wish. I tried getting my kids to fly out with being the track boss running around, but instead you came in and subbed. You were the track boss for one of those. We live streamed reInvent races from Oscar at the top. And then one day was dedicated to the community. We had live streaming for that, where we actually had the full track. We had the first ever Evos on the track, a 3-car head-to-head race on the thing. It was very chaotic, but it was fun. And we had the box of doom on it. So we actually put the box right in the middle of the track and let the Evos run around. It was, I'll tell you what, after I was done doing that, I disconnected all electronics. I went and had dinner quietly by myself. I'm an extrovert, but at that point, when you're done doing all these, you're burnt, tired.
At the end of reInvent, it's like, I don't want to talk about cloud again, maybe ever. And then, like a few days later, I'm back to it.
I actually run out of words. Like I can sometimes come home and I'll say, "Hey, I'd love to chat," but my quota is exhausted.
I've depleted my word bank.
Yeah, I have nothing left to actually say of any substance.
But then credit to you. So I was showing a lot of people who thought that they worked hard in reInvent, and I was saying, "Oh, look at Jeff's schedule," and because I think what I learned from you and your example is just stamina, right? Like, you don't have to necessarily be the most charismatic, animated TED Talk level speaker, but be able to go event, 7 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. for like 5 solid days.
Yeah, reInvent
or more, 7:30 to midnight.
I used to think that you would be one of the hardest working people at reInvent, and then I wound up catching up with a few people who run the core network, or who do all of the physical logistics for the site. And I'm looking at that going like, there's a whole other level of hard work.
Yeah, everybody that reports to Annie and Jen, and that's amazing what they managed to pull off. To get 50, 60, 70,000 people in and get them all to the right places and keep them safe and keep them fed, and it's really complicated.
Well, I guess that one glitch makes a very happy crowd into a mob, like, really fast. Right? Like,
the food's cold, we riot.
Yeah. Have you ever been to that
or the
that lunch area and seen the scale of which you serve lunch to tens of thousands of people at once?
I passed through it a couple times.
Of all the things that are mystifying to me, like serving lunch in parallel to tens of thousands of people is like, wow, that is my rocket science.
I get that we can build a zettabyte or yottabyte scale storage system, but food for that many people, that's hard.
Yeah. And it's good and fresh and tasty and that's.
I hope to one day find out, just because I do not have time to eat during the day at reInvent, but I make up for it at night as I go to like my fourth client dinner in the evening. And it's like, you eat so little, how do you pull it off?
It's like I have 3 parties in parallel, only 8 parties tonight, but like this is.
It's not a sympathetic problem at all.
No, it's actually. Carmen and I remark all the time of like, if you're a legit celebrity and you have to like show up well dressed and alert and active at all these different things 7 nights a week, that's gotta be grueling. And there's some critic like oh, they're wearing the such and such shoes or dress or whatever, and then especially if you're in the arts and it's like, and you have to have like an opinion on everybody's most recent content. Like, oh, here's the new song from somebody, and oh, that new movie, and like you gotta know all that. How do you consume all that stuff and like have an opinion on all of it? Like.
And then at reInvent, AWS announces something, and everyone's like, oh, so what do you think about that new service? And it's like, it came out 20 minutes ago. I have not used it yet. I'm sure it kind of knows what they say. I can make fun of its name, and that's about it right now.
The expectation of the world sometimes is insane for what they think.
Yeah.
They think that we're somehow superhuman about what we do, and I just write these posts one at a time, and after it's done, it's just down the production line and on to the next one. I was deeply immersed in it when I was writing it and reviewing it, but I'm done now.
Yeah. On to the next one.
Yeah.
I think
No, one of my secrets before I write, I was going to share earlier, is I always like to mind map. I take the press release and the FAQ, I create a really nice mind map for the whole thing, put all my thoughts in order in the mind map, and then that's my overall guide.
That's your outline.
That is effectively the outline. But it's structurally the same as an outline, but because it's like a space-filling curve and it all fits on one page, it's not the outline, because I only take all the stuff I'm told and I just put it into a structure. I don't know if that's an outline or not. I don't rearrange it to make it into a story. I just put all the facts onto that one page of the mind map. And that way, I have like a...
How do you connect it into bubbles? Is that not the kind of mind map you do? Like, I'll do like a brain dump and just like basically like random sentences is my notes page.
It's just all the things I pull out of the PRFAQ.
Well, I don't know, how do you visually arrange it? Do you just have it like in cloud drawings, or?
I try to just make sense of it as I'm reading it. Like, if you've ever looked at one of our FAQs, sometimes they're grouped by subject area, but usually it's just a bunch of random questions.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to do is just add some structure to that. So like, here's all the questions about the database part, and here's all the parts about the pricing, and here's all the questions about the compatibility, and just try to kind of gather all that.
I've written a couple, but I still don't know the secret how to do it properly. It's some for internal stuff, and sometimes because it'll be amusing. I'm going to write this as a blog post. Why not? Here's my version of PRFAQ for something I wish existed but doesn't.
The funny thing is, I wrote a PRFAQ for this office when I was trying to get our first designer to conceptualize what I was looking for, and it read really well, but it didn't convey to her what I was really looking for. I don't know if that was where the disconnect was, but we never quite settled on this is what I want. And then things just kind of laid fallow for a while. Then I said, I'm just going to build the Lego model over there to just say this is what I want. And then our designer came by and he's like, oh, I can make one of those for you. And then everything just happened.
How was the color chosen?
Oh.
Now that we're talking about your...
Now you got details. Somewhere in my closet I have one of every Lego color, and we just went through, and Eduardo and I just picked 4 colors that we liked, and
I could not pick colors to save my life or match any colors. I'd be like, you pick what you think needs to match.
Yeah.
I outsource. Yeah.
He pretty much picked and said these will go really well together. But that is our color palette.
That is standard Jeff right there. He did it from Legos and
Like your slide templates are so good. How did you do the art? I had the good sense to pay an artist.
Well, what's worse for me is I don't even know what looks good or doesn't.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
you can't even give them constructive feedback of like make it brighter, darker, dimmer, change the spectrum.
Make it better.
Different,
There's a language that I do not speak.
Same.
What about the design? Like the boxes, the squares, the rectangle. Like
That was me. Just like I had a bunch of like folding tables, and I had these cardboard cubes that I had bought from Amazon. They were this like recycled cardboard that you just kind of snap together with pins.
Yeah.
I had a bunch
If you
of those
buy
for a
anything
couple
else
of
on Amazon, they'll send you the cardboard cubes for free. They have the Amazon logo on them.
These were deluxe cardboard cubes.
Oh, there we go.
But and I had some of those arranged, and that was kind of the inspiration for just running a lot of kind of cubbyhole level storage.
Well, I think you should have done one shelf in like an acrylic, like a clear acrylic, so you can see the mural behind it.
You know, I didn't.
Where
even
were
think
you
about
back a year ago?
Yeah. Wait, when he was designing it,
Yeah, the only thing I probably would have changed, that would have been a good idea, and then it looks like I have a lot of power outlets, but I would have put some holes so I could get some more light into the cabinetry a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which I can definitely drill them or get somebody to drill
Like
them.
they do have like long battery power and stuff. I don't know if it's IoT or not. You can have like little LED lights you can put on the underside.
I know what you're talking about to put them in.
But I've heard them wired in because I don't replace batteries every month.
Jeff,
I've got enough battery powered stuff already.
Yeah.
I've got 2 outside cameras that I have to change the batteries in all the time.
Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking
Yeah, I've got
about.
1 blink and 1 ring camera, and the blink cameras are meant for situations where things are mostly quiet and it's activated just occasionally. But because this is the city, I've got one pointed at the street, and it gets activated 10 times an hour, so it lasts for 5 or 6 weeks, and I've got to go and.
That's actually not too bad. 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah. I have it carefully concealed, looking at the street, just because in the city, weird things happen between usually 3 and 5 in the morning, so you just want to capture.
Like the raccoons.
Yeah.
Dismantling another data center.
Humans sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, once a year, there'll be like a spate of just broken car windows overnight, and sometimes they'll break the window and not even steal anything. It's like I have this feeling that some people actually get some level of joy out of breaking windows. That there must be some level of, oh, that sounded really cool, let me do another one.
Yeah.
And there'll be 3 or 4 cars with broken windows and apparently nothing stolen. And it's like, could you not find joy in doing something besides just breaking windows? And,
Yeah.
Jeff, I didn't realize you had so many patents.
Oh, there? Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 up there.
No, there's like a dozen.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a
you
lot.
you get the blue ones, I think, when
13.
yeah, okay.
6, 7. Hey, that's a lucky number.
6 plus 7. That's how many there are. You're right.
Most of those are kind of routine, but one of them was really cool because I got tired of trying to always remind myself and Carmen to turn off our phones when we were in performances. And so I put together a proposal that said, could you make a phone that automatically turned its volume off when it was in certain kinds of buildings? And I wrote that up in the space of 2 paragraphs and sent it to our patent team. And they said, yeah, we could write a patent around that. And
That's wild. Like, I don't know what I would begin to patent.
I have no
method
clue.
for insulting multinational companies on Twitter. Yeah, there was some prior art there.
we have a really good team where you don't have to write the patent yourself. You write the general idea, and if they like the idea, they'll take it and they'll interview you some more to get more details, and they'll do all the dirty work of actually putting the detailed patent together and stepping it through the process, sending you the puzzle pieces.
The Duckbill Group does not have a team like that at the current time.
It's good to have, and
It'll be our next hire.
Once they also said that you can't even do any searching to see if there's prior art or not. They just want to make sure that you're totally hands off and you don't do something that's derivative of an existing patent. So if you have a good idea that you think is unique, you just send it to them and they'll take
So
it.
they'll search everything.
Yes,
and see
they're. I don't know what they have.
We should
Whatever privilege
outsource
they have,
that.
but they
They'll be
can.
sending some things to them.
Yeah, turn that into an AWS.
Yes,
service.
okay. I mean, patent.
There you go. That'd be cool.
Amazon patent.
Or get it with the AWS patent leather.
Now, the folks that are actually on the product teams, you go to like James Hamilton or Peter DeSantis or Dave Brown, those things like stack up so fast for them that they don't even bother to like put them together. Like to me, getting one is like
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I have a room wallpaper with those.
I've seen piles of multiple dozens from some of our longer tenured colleagues.
Well, what did you think of episode number 6? That was freaking awesome. All the information that's happening and the conversation is something that you cannot script. It was pretty cool to see and hear about how those patents were achieved by Jeff, how he was a track boss, the bold ask, everything and what it really takes. Now, let's talk about the last one in this series before we wrap it up and have some pizza at Jeff's house. In 7, we're going to be talking about ChatGPT. Yes, we have to talk about it. CloudFormation, Bitcoin, and then we jump into how ChatGPT is helping with the education. Thank you for watching the John Myer podcast. Stay tuned for the very last episode of this awesome podcast. Until next time.